I've run 2 marathons. In my first marathon, I ran a time of 3 hours and 20 minutes. Then after making a few changes, 1 year later, I ran a time of 2 hours and 58 minutes, breaking the 3-hour marathon. The question you may have is, what were those changes? And I'll tell you.
Through a mirror in the ocean.
Becoming a better runner is simple. It's not complicated. It's not easy. In fact, it's very hard, but it's simple. I did a lot of things wrong when I first started running. I made a lot of mistakes, which is fine. We all are gonna make mistakes. In fact, mistakes are a fundamental piece to growth because it gives us something to learn from and to work off of. It's important to understand that the path to growth is not always linear. It doesn't just go straight up to the top without any road bumps. But that doesn't mean that progress isn't still being made. In this video, I'm gonna go over the 4 major ways I shaved 22 minutes off my marathon time. But just know, the glue that held all those things together and made them work was consistency.
Seeking stars, seeking stars. I'm seeking stars.
Consistency compounds, and that's the theme of this whole series. Just do it over and over until you get good.
The nighttime it stars. The nighttime it stars. The nighttime it stars. The nighttime it stars.
Good morning, everyone. 13-mile long run this morning. This is my 3rd long run of prep. This will wrap up week 3. This is also my 2nd week of 50 miles. And I'm feeling good, honestly. My body feels good. I don't feel beat up or anything, so that's a good sign. I wanted to talk about my first tip as far as running a faster marathon and what I did to help me run a faster marathon. And I would say the biggest thing is to hire a coach or talk to consistently someone who has run the time you are trying to run. It's incredible how much research you can do about the marathon just on YouTube. I mean, my first marathon, all I did was just watch YouTube videos, and that taught me everything I needed to know about weekly mileage, workouts. So yeah, YouTube can be a super helpful tool to run a really solid marathon. But I think for me, what helped me get to that next level was having a coach who knew way more than me, who could give me advice, who could structure a plan for me. That was super helpful because, for one, it takes out really having to do too much thinking. You just go out and follow the plan they've set for you and just hit your runs every week, hit your workouts. But also, a coach and someone who's done it before truly knows what it takes because they've done it before. And it's just extremely helpful to have someone holding you accountable, having someone giving you advice actively on how to run those paces. So that would be my first piece of advice. Getting a coach will help you tremendously. Pre-run fit check time on feet, New Balance SC Trainer version 2s. So these are great shoes. They're not as good as the version 1s, but I do like them still. Very comfortable, very responsive, a lot of cushion. So these are great. The Nike Trail Shorts, 5 inches. These are some of my favorite running shorts. I prefer tights generally, but these are great shorts. Pretty comfortable. Then I've got a Lululemon little crew neck type thing. It zips up for no reason, but it kind of looks sick. And then a Lululemon shirt if it gets too hot. Then I got an Adidas hat on and my Coral Space 3. Everyone knows that at this point, but this is the Saturday morning 13-mile long run fit check. All right, let's get it. 13 miles on the menu. Slept in a little this morning, felt nice. Feeling primed. Some days you're just ready to run, and that is today for me. I've had a couple runs this week though, where I was not ready to run, and I did not want to run at all. Did I still run? Yes. Did I want to? Absolutely not. So the second thing I did to run a faster marathon is I gave myself more time to train. So in my first marathon, I trained for 3 months. And then in my second marathon where I ran a sub 3, I trained for 5 months. This was super helpful for me for a few reasons. One, when you give yourself more time to train, you don't have to take such an aggressive approach to training. So if you think about it, if you train for 3 months, you give yourself 12 weeks to train. If you only have 12 weeks to train, that means you have less time to get up to the higher weekly mileage you need in order to be able to run a marathon. But if you give yourself 5 months to train, you can take a much less aggressive approach. That helps you stay injury-free, and it also builds your aerobic base up. And ultimately, that's what you need most when you're trying to run a faster marathon. You need a stronger engine that can last longer at those faster paces. So give yourself more time to train. It's gonna take longer. It's gonna require more discipline. This approach is truly what got me way more fit and way more ready to run fast in the marathon. I cannot recommend it enough. Give yourself time. Okay, this next one is super important. It has to do with long runs. You have to incorporate your goal race pace into long runs. That was one of the biggest changes I made. During my first marathon prep, I didn't do a single long run at my goal marathon pace. And in my second one, I did multiple long runs incorporating my race paces into my runs. That is so important because your body isn't used to running that fast. And so you have to get it used to running that fast. And the only way to do that is to do it in a setting like your race. And this goes back to having a coach or having someone to help you. Your coach is gonna plan this for you and structure faster paces into your long runs. So that kind of ties back into my first point. Work with the coach, put fast paces into your long runs, because it not only gets you used to doing those fast paces when your body's fatigued, but arguably a more important thing is it builds your confidence. So during my sub 3 hour prep, I didn't feel confident about running a sub 3 hour marathon until I did a 22-mile workout where I was able to hold marathon pace for 18 of those 22 miles. So do it because it will get you more fit and because your confidence will skyrocket. And that confidence is gonna be crucial to have in the marathon. All right, my fourth piece of advice is in regards to nutrition. One of the most common mistakes that people make, and I made in my first marathon, was just not taking nutrition seriously enough. I knew it was important, but I just didn't dial it in enough. And in order to get faster, it's about making those incremental gains. And you can make significant incremental gains by dialing in nutrition. So a little template that my coach gave me that could be helpful for you is on your long runs and during your training, consuming 500 to 700 milligrams of sodium and around 50 to 60 grams of carbs per hour. So that's like 2 gels per hour, and then making sure you're consuming a lot of electrolytes. Dialing in your hydration and your carb intake around your training literally will make or break runs for you. And the only way to really do that is you just have to test it. You just have to, throughout your training, try different gels, try different things, and just keep testing it. And eventually you kind of flesh it out and find exactly what works for you. But there's no other way than continuously implementing, revising, and improving your nutrition around your runs. So just test it until you've got it perfected come race day.
All right, that is a 13 miler. That is a wrap on week 3 of training. That 13 miles felt like extremely smooth. So happy with that. It's crazy to think back 2 years ago when 13 miles was so intimidating. Like that was my long run. And that would be so, I remember being intimidated by that. Now I'm kind of pumped to go out and run 13 miles. Easy pace. Ran this in an 8:14 overall pace. Took me an hour and 47 minutes. But it was solid. I'm feeling fit. This is another 50-mile week and I'm feeling good. But I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I just really wanted to highlight 4 really key things that I did to improve my marathon time and shave off 22 minutes. There are obviously tons of different things that I did, but I wanted to just hone in on 4 of the biggest and most important things that you can implement in your running. So to recap, number 1, find someone that knows what they're doing and has done this for longer than you. So find a coach or someone who's done it before and talk to them, get a plan from them. And number 2 is give yourself enough time to train. There's literally a reason they say it's a marathon, not a sprint, because this is a process that takes a long time to get good at. I've been running for a couple years now, putting in a lot of work, and like it just takes time. It takes time to get faster, to get more fit, to build your aerobic base. Number 3, practice your goal race paces during your long runs. This will help you get more fit, and it will also just skyrocket your confidence. That 22-mile run I was talking about, there was like a distinct switch that went off when I finished that run to where I felt like this another level of dialed in and confidence that I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't implement those fast paces into that run. And then number 4, it's simple, but it's very difficult for a lot of people to do. It's dial in your nutrition. Take it seriously. You don't have to be perfect, but through testing throughout your prep, find something that works for you. Find the amount of electrolytes you need to drink, the amount of carbs you need to take in. Just dial all that in so that by race day you're ready and you have tested something that works for you. You never want to like throw in something that you've never tried before on race day. That's just gonna absolutely tank you. But with all that being said, I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you all so much for watching this video and following along the journey. I'm building this series out. We're already at episode 4. So if this is the first video you've seen of mine, go back and watch some of those videos. I'd really appreciate it. Drop a comment. I like reading through all the comments and trying to respond to every single one of you. Drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you all next week in the next video.